What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV back here for some more transfer targets video. Today we're going to be looking at that central midfield position, ball playing central midfielder that can contribute to the attack. We've got 6 players this time instead of 5, all based in the Premier League. So that one shouldn't be a problem in terms of getting to grips with the Premier League. And all these players I really like. And let's start off with Brighton's YVES BISSOUMA. Obviously, a very aggressive player in the middle of the park, covers every blade of grass, got bundles and bundles of energy. I'm very impressed every time I see him play, especially against Spurs. I mean, he always performs against us. A Mali international, plies his trade obviously at Brighton, as I said. Contract expires in 2023 with a market value of 31.5 million. Played 26 games this season, 1 goal, 2 assists. And he's one who I'd absolutely love through the door, but he's got those kind of things around him, surrounding his career in terms of terrible things that he has done in the past, or supposedly done in the past. We don't know if that's gone away or not. Yeah,
that's obviously something that I don't have full details on. We've had conflicting things whether he's still under investigation or not. But in terms of him as a player, he's been a wonderful player for Brighton over the last few years. Exceptional at holding the ball and dribbling, and he's very strong in the centre. Very physical, extremely effective when winning the ball back as well. He's got a good shot on him, and he's got a good pass on him. Although he doesn't get many goals and assists, he could definitely improve that. But he definitely has a decent. He's got a good technique on his long range shooting. Passing, he doesn't get too many key passes or through balls and stuff like that, but he definitely has a good passing range about him, and maybe with better players around him we can see an improvement in that aspect. But in terms of BISSOUMA, definitely more of a ball retention kind of midfielder than an attacking one, I would say.
Would you, I mean, with BISSOUMA, he's probably kind of one that I'd like to bring in and supplement with a kind of attacking midfielder or a ball-playing midfielder.
Yeah, potentially. He's more. He probably is more defensive, but he's probably also a bit better on the ball than what we have right now. Definitely in terms of dribbling and holding players off and things like that. So it's about. I guess it's about what you kind of want. But he definitely is not as creative as maybe other players. But he's definitely a very good option in the centre.
Yeah, he's definitely not as creative as the next man we're going to talk about, which is Christian Eriksen. I'm guessing you all, everyone knows what Christian Eriksen brings to the table. Supreme creative abilities, supreme passing abilities, good at set pieces. Obviously, we all know what happened to him at the Euros with his heart and everything like that. So obviously there are question marks in terms of fitness. But since going to Brentford, I think he's been unbelievable, and he's been one of the better players in the Premier League, in my opinion. And I think he's back better than ever, Christian Eriksen. And obviously, when he left Spurs, he went over to Antonio Conte and Inter Milan, won the league there. Didn't get to grips with things really at the first. He wasn't getting much game time, but then once he did really knuckle down under Antonio Conte, he was a key part of his team. And that proves to me that he can come back to Tottenham and really slot in.
Definitely. I think he's exceptional. I think he's been exceptional ever since he came back from the Euros and played for Brentford. I think he's had an unbelievable time at Brentford since he got back in the team. Obviously, he's elite at crossing, elite creativity, elite passer, elite shooter. All these things he's unbelievable at. He's also a very hard worker. He always at Tottenham was at the highest ranks of the
running stats.
Yeah, distance run and distance run everything like that. He was always near the top. So I think he's very good there. Defensively, obviously tackles and stuff, he's not elite at that. But that leaves question marks whether he can play in a 3-4-3. You would probably have to play a 3-5-2 if you want the best out of Eriksen. Yeah. So there's question marks there. But I think well, if he's available and he wants to come, you'd have to seriously consider it because of the talent he has. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably the guy with the most talent that's available on the free transfer market, and there are players with a lot of talent on that free transfer market. So to get him in for free, bring him back home, I would absolutely love to see that. But obviously, we have to see what he wants from his career. I mean, he did say that he wants to, he's ambitious and he wants to play in the Champions League. But the way he left the club, maybe he won't consider coming back to Tottenham. We don't know.
I mean, yeah, yes and no. I think he did leave in a way which there was a bit of toxicity at the end because he wasn't playing very well and he clearly wanted to leave. But I think he's come like with a hopefully renewed vigour. And I think he might see a return to Spurs as an opportunity to maybe finally win a trophy, which he never got to win. And maybe because we're in a bit of a different place now. So hopefully, and also you got to remember, we were in a downward spiral when he left. Let's be honest,
yeah.
and that wasn't totally his fault why he wanted to leave. But now we're different, so, and you under a manager he's already won a trophy with. So maybe we're at a different stage now.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to see how that one plays out with Christian Eriksen. Let's move on and let's talk about James Ward-Prowse, a player who I completely admire with absolute elite set-piece ability. I mean, his free kicks are absolutely second to none. I believe he's second to only David Beckham in terms of scoring free kicks, or did he overtake him now?
I don't think he's overtaken him yet.
So second to David Beckham. He scored 10 goals this season in 36 games for Southampton. He's also grabbed himself 5 assists in the making. The contract runs out in 2026. He would command quite a high fee. He is Southampton's captain. He did only recently sign a contract, but I believe there was a top 6 clause or something in his contract, was rumoured to believe when he did sign it. But
that makes sense.
But with Southampton rumoured to be wanting Winks, maybe there's a deal to be done there, because we saw the deal that we did with Højbjerg, who was their captain at the time, for Kyle Walker-Peters. Maybe there is something that we could do there for Harry Winks.
Yeah, I mean, obviously a set piece taker is something we severely lack. He is absolutely one of the best in Europe, if not the best in Europe, when it comes to set pieces. I think in general, he's got a very good long range shot. He's got a very good range of pass. He's a very hard worker in the centre. But defensively, he's not the best. He's not the best at dribbling either at the ball at his feet. So he's not a great ball carrier. And he's not the best when it comes to winning the ball back. Albeit he blocks a lot of shots because he's a very hard working midfielder. So he gets in position well. But he's not the best at winning the ball back. So there's a bit of give and take with Ward-Prowse. But in terms of being a central midfielder that we could use, I think he'd be a very good option, because I think he takes the other options in terms of on the ball to a different level. But I think Højbjerg and Bentancur and Skip are probably all better off the ball than him. So
in terms of the set pieces, I mean, how many set pieces do we win in dangerous areas and we just never capitalise on them?
Yeah,
I think it'll be massive for us.
And how many with free kicks like the likes of Kane and Son we win?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So we win a lot of them, but we just fail to capitalise on the majority of them, which is frustrating a lot of the times. How many times are we sitting there in the stadium and we get a free kick, we're just like, oh, here we go again. But anyway, Ward-Prowse, I think, would be brilliant bit of business for Tottenham Hotspur. 27 years of age. Next up, we're going to talk about John McGinn, Super John McGinn of Aston Villa. Big Scotland international, 35 games for Villa this year, 3 goals, 4 assists, 27 years of age. Contract runs out in 2025 with a market value, according to Transfer Market Odds, 27 million. Have 44 caps for Scotland, scoring 12 goals in the making. What's your opinions on John McGinn?
I like John McGinn. I think he's a good player. He's a bit like a jack of all trades, master of none kind of player. Very good. He's a good shooter. He's a decent passer. He's not the best ball carrier, but he's very good defensively. So again, it's like he's a player I think Conte would appreciate, and a player if he can improve his passing range and stuff like that. I think he's got a very good passing range, but he can also be a bit sloppy on the ball as well. When we're playing quick football and fast football, he can be lacking in that. But if he's got a long range pass to make, a lot of the time he'll make it. A bit like Højbjerg in that sense. Well, he's definitely better going forward than Højbjerg. He's got a better shot. Defensively, they're pretty much on the same weight. I think they're probably fairly the same level, but he definitely could do a lot of improving with his ball carrying. I think it's decent, but it's not great.
He's one that's a proper workhorse, isn't he?
Yeah, he works very, very hard. He'll never stop running. So I think he's more of I think he's a player who doesn't upgrade us too much, but he adds us quality depth, I would say, in the centre mid.
All right, so that's John McGinn.
Do you think he has an upgrade?
As Højbjerg?
Or on our midfield?
Not enough for me. Not enough. I think I like John McGinn as a player, but I just feel like for what we're trying to achieve, trying to combat the likes of Man City and Liverpool, I just don't think he represents enough of an upgrade for me. So that's John McGinn. But this next player, I think I'll prefer more, which is Ruben Neves of Wolves. Obviously, his passing ability is second to none. He's got a dynamite of a shot on him. He's played 33 games for Wolves this season, scoring 4 goals, getting 2 assists in the making. Portuguese international, making himself 26 appearances. He has been linked with the likes of Barcelona in this transfer window, with his contract running out in 2024. His market value, according to Transmarket, is 36 million, and I know you're a big fan of him, aren't you?
I love Neves. I think he's unbelievable player. I think he's got extreme ability. I think his passing probably the best on the list. I think he's an unbelievable passer, shooting wise as well. The thing is with Neves, unlike someone like Eriksen, he's a brilliant shooter, but he doesn't get too many shots off during a game. He needs to shoot more often with his ability, because
is that down to him and the way he plays, or is that down to maybe the style of play Wolves play and they're not in the position enough?
it's a good question. I don't know the answer to that. But all I know is he doesn't get enough shots off per game with his ability. He should be getting at least a few shots off in the game. So I think that he needs to work on that. He's very good in possession. He's quite a decent ball carrier. Defensively, though, there are definitely question marks. I don't think he's horrendous, but he's not fantastic. So that's definitely something he definitely could be caught out. Another player probably on the list where you're looking, where he's probably better in a 3-5-2 than a 3-4-3, unless he has someone who's really elite next to him defensively. But definitely a player who takes our ability on the ball to another level in the middle. And definitely when we're looking to break down low blocks and stuff, he can be a massive help in that.
Who would you rather on the team, Ruben Neves or Bentancur?
Who would I rather in the team?
In a double pivot with Højbjerg? Or Skip, one of the two.
I think it depends who we're playing, but if I think I'm purely. I wouldn't want him like, say, against like Man City. Like I think he would get overrun, or Liverpool or something. But when we're looking to break teams down, I think I would rather him.
Interesting. And how much of a transfer fee do you reckon he commands?
Probably a lot. 25 years of age, Portuguese international. He's a big player for Wolves. I don't know what his contract situation is. 2 years left.
24, yeah.
2 years left. You're probably looking at least 40 to 50 million.
All right, and last but not least, we're going to look at YOURI TIELEMANS. It's been no secret that he wants out of Leicester this summer. I mean, before this season, I really thought he was a top player. I still do, to be honest, but he hasn't had maybe as good of a season this year as he has had in previous years. Maybe that's all surrounding him wanting to leave and stuff like that. And obviously Leicester as well haven't been good this year as they have been in previous years. But he's a player that that's got definitely good passing ability, really good shooting as well. But his work rate sometimes, well, especially this season, has been a lot to be desired about. He's played 32 games for Leicester this season, 6 goals, 4 assists, 25 years of age. His contract does expire in a year's time, with his market value, according to Transmarket, at 49.5 million, with Arsenal being heavily linked with him. And he's a Belgium international, 49 games, 4 goals. And it says here he's the Belgium captain, which is interesting.
Didn't know that. Didn't
I
know
thought De Bruyne was, but anyway.
That's very impressive for him to be a leader for Belgium. He's really the captain. That's very surprising.
Here, but I don't know if that's true.
It's very surprising. I think in terms of shooting, probably the best on the list in terms of long-range shooting. I think he's got an exceptional shot. He does it in big moments as well, you know.
FA Cup final.
Yeah, stuff like that. I think he's done it in international level as well. He's a very good long-range shooter. Passing wise, he's an extremely good passer of the ball. Defensively, he's decent as well. Ball carrying, not the best, but defense, like, that's the big thing. Defensively, he's okay, but he's nowhere near the other 3 we have. But he's a lot better on the ball, similar to someone like Neves. But whereas with Neves, I think it's more of a quality thing. Tielemans, I think it's more of an attitude thing. So if you get his attitude right, I think he could be even better than Neves. But it's about whether I don't think he's a toxic person. I don't know if there's any evidence of that. But we just know that he tried to leave and it hasn't quite gone right for him this season at Leicester, and they're complaining about him a lot.
Christian Eriksen in his last year for us.
Yeah, so put him in the right environment, maybe he thrives. So I don't think Tielemans would be a bad option whatsoever.
All right, well, let's have a look at the list as a whole. We got YVES, BISSOUMA, Christian Eriksen, James Ward-Prowse, John McGinn, Ruben Neves, YOURI TIELEMANS. I mean, in my opinion, I think Christian Eriksen would be an absolute steal on the free transfer market. I would love him at Spurs. In terms of, I think like Ericsson should just be a given, and we should get one more, including Ericsson.
Yeah,
I really
Ericsson
believe
plus one.
I think it should be Ericsson plus one. So I'm going to go for Ericsson to be brought in with either WARD-PROWSE or TIELEMANS, in my opinion. What are you going for?
Yeah, I agree with you. It needs to be Ericsson plus one. And if we get someone like Ericsson, I don't see a need for potentially for someone like Neves as well. So I actually think I can see a McGinn or a BISSOUMA being the other two.
BISSOUMA I would like. I think I would like BISSOUMA more than McGinn.
Mm.
I think he brings a bit more in my opinion, but I do like YOURI TIELEMANS. It's just that his last year just hasn't lit the Premier League alight like maybe like he has done in previous years. But I think there's been a lot going on behind the scenes. So,
but with BISSOUMA potentially available for 30 million, could be a very good deal if obviously everything gets cleared up.
And
with
TIELEMANS is apparently available for like 25 million, something like that.
Yeah, that'd also be interesting if that's also true. But we'll be battling with Arsenal. It'd be a very good signing for Arsenal if they get him through the door.
Yeah.
So I think, I still think, for what Conte likes, I reckon he would want rather one of McGinn or BISSOUMA. That'd be my prediction.
Yeah.
And then plus Ericsson.
All right. So let us know in the comment section below who you would prefer out of that list. If they're not on the list, let me know which central midfielders you would like to bring into Tottenham this summer. Thank you everyone for watching today. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.